Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
To set the game, you're going to take the terrain cards and you're going to put those out on the board. I'm going to put them like this just so you can easily kind of see what's in here. And if you get a plane, it goes in the center of the board like so. Any ones that are not plain would come out here, and these all have to be in a neutral position, and then it would be set up like this. So you kind of have 5 columns that you're playing through right here, with the planes in the center as much as possible, and then the other cards on the outside. What you're going to do is take your first shuffle and set it aside. You're going to shuffle up your deck, and then draw the top 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So everyone's going to have a hand of 4 cards in their itinerary. You're going to take 2 of these, whatever 2 that you want. These will go in your hand. These will be discarded. And this will be in your pile keeper. Then you have a discard pile that you'll have. You'll draw 4 more. And you continue to do this. You'll take 2 cards, keep them in your deck to your release. And you continue this until you have 24 cards in your deck that you're going to be utilizing for the game. So you'll draft that before the game starts. Once you have your 24 cards, you'll take your first shuffle card, put it on the bottom. Then you'll draw 9 cards from the top of the deck, and this will be your starting hand. So the first thing I'm going to do is go through a turn. And the first thing I do is check to see if somebody won. So if somebody has, let's say, just for illustration purposes, you had 3 unimposed areas, and they're kind of control over here. So if you control 3 of the 5 areas at the beginning of a turn, you are the winner of the game. So the first thing you do each round is check to see if you won. So let's say that you didn't win the game. It's kind of set up like this. Then what you would do is advance. And every area that you're unopposed, so let's say you had maybe something like this set up. So this one is opposed because there's a card there. This one's unopposed. So you would kind of put this over here to signify that I control these 2 areas. This one is uncontrolled and these are uncontrolled. And so that's the second thing you will do is advance. The third thing you do is you can flank if you want to. What it does, it requires this right here. This is an example of a flank. This has to be empty over here. You have to have an unopposed view and one that's over here. And then I can kind of flank this section over here and attack with this guy if I so want to. So that's the third thing you can do is flank. If I choose to flank, then I would go through the attack, which I'll show you how that works in a few minutes. The fourth thing you're going to do is your actions. You can take as many actions as you want to do as long as you can pay the cost for them. So what I can do, the first thing is I can place these guys out. And what you're going to see here is you're going to see command points. So if I wanted to put somebody out, they would have a cost associated with them. So there's a few restrictions to this, but generally speaking, the top is how many points it would cost. So like this guy would be free to put out. I can just put him out. If I wanted to put this guy out, it costs... let's say I want to put this guy out. It would cost a cost of 2. That's his movement. So I'd have to give up 2 command points. So this has 2 command points. I can just discard this card out with the 2 command points, and I can spend those command points to put this out here. So that's kind of how that works. That's one of the things you can do is just put those out. There's a couple of more restrictions I don't want to get into too detailed, but that's general speaking how it's going to be done. So if you want to attack, that's the second thing you can do. Let's say I want to attack this guy, then I can either take the top card from the top of the deck, or I can choose a card from my hand to play, and this will be hidden from the defender. They won't know what it is quite yet. But if I have 2 people here, let's say these guys were here, I can choose either one I want to attack with. So maybe I would attack with the guy on the horse here, the cavalry, instead of the archer, for example. And I would draw my card or choose it from my hand. Now, the defender can choose to withdraw the units if he wants to. If it's lower, his movement cost is lower. So in this case, it's a 3, it's 2, it's not lower, so he will not be able to withdraw from this fight. If the defender chooses not to withdraw, you can draw a card from the top of a deck or choose one from his hand as his bonus card also. Then you just add up the combat value, which you'll see here on the cards, which will be a 3 in this case, plus any bonuses that you may have. And the loser would have to be eliminated from the spot, going to the discard pile, which obviously will change the control at the next turn, as you can tell from what's going on here. Another thing you do is reserve, which is draw 3 cards from the top of the deck. Then, at the end of your turn, you draw 3 cards or discard a card and draw a number equal to the command point. So, if I had this right here, I could get rid of it and draw 2 additional cards if I so chose. So that's an option I would have at the end of the turn. Now remember, the end of the game is always checked at the beginning of each turn. and you're just kind of playing these down and giving up cards and deciding what you want to keep. But drafting at the beginning of it is a lot to do with how is going to be set up, and that's a quick overview of how you play Field of Glory, the card game.